Our history is like
two iconic breaking ground, making history in separate ways.
Let's proceed with what I feel is the most interesting part of the program.
All the interesting things going on in the news.
It makes it so much more interesting for the listener.
There are some interesting details relating to all this. Now listen.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. If you can't be at least mildly interesting, then shut the hell up.
Let's see if they've got any interesting guests coming up.
I don't want to be rude here, but my stories are interesting.
What's up, everybody? It's the Loudmouth Zannie K, joined once again by my brother, same mother, Osco, my man in the Shy, and this is TIPI. The most interesting part is, well, we talk about the most interesting parts of the most interesting people and stories. So let's get right into it, man. How you feel, baby?
I'm good, dog. How you feel?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I wanted to remind everybody, man, if you like the content that we're putting together, man, please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get so many subscribers by next week, and we're offering up some goodies. Did Kiss Allen tell you about this one?
No.
All right. So we got the Kiss Allen Experience t-shirts.
Yes, sir.
We got them in all sizes, right? And so
yes, sir.
The next few subscribers, we're going to create an auction and give away some of these. We're also going to give away the Kissisms hoodies. Now, mine is pretty big, but as you can see, it's fluffy. It smells good. This is the good stuff right here, man. So if you want to get one of these excellent items, make sure you click the link, like, and subscribe to the page. All right. So NBA season winding down. You know, nepotism is real, right? And we talked about Giannis Antetokounmpo. They got a new coach. They starting to get on track. What do you think about the job that Doc is doing with the Bucks right now?
Hey, I listen for I mean, there's a whole lot of things playing all over when it comes to Milwaukee, right? So you had Adrian Griffin, who was in there at one point.
Right.
Adrian was doing his thing. He had the boys on point. They was getting it in. And I think, Honest went over to him and said, hey, man, none of us want to play defense, bro. And Doc was in the background like, yeah, make sure you tell dude that y'all don't want to play no defense. So, and it was just, it's a lot of speculation that's coming out of that camp. But at the end of the day, Doc is in there now, man. He's making things happen to a degree.
Right.
There's still some up and downs when it comes to Milwaukee.
Right. You got your whole load management factor.
Yes.
You got a lot of factors in there. And people talk about depth. Damian Lillard is doing what he's supposed to do.
Man.
But people start to talk about depth. And the question came up, is Giannis holding back the team's chances of getting some more depth, by holding a spot for his brother?
Man, listen, it's a family event, bro.
Okay.
You know how it is. It's a family event. Right now, Giannis is in his last year of his contract. This coming summer, he's up for a Supermax, which, we talking about 300 plus million.
Yeah.
And so Milwaukee's like, we don't want to lose him in the free agency market. So we're going to do anything and everything we can.
Anything we can, huh?
So his brother, let me bring on little bro.
His brother is,
he's trash.
The Nassus. He's 6'7".
Yeah.
Listen, this dude is averaging 7 minutes, 2 points, 1 point, 1 rebound a game. He taking up a roster spot, bro.
But he holding shoes, man. That's all that matters. He holding back. Listen,
he taking up a roster spot, bro.
Dude, I mean, at this point, Milwaukee, when it comes to the East, you got Boston. You've got Boston primarily is what it is, the East, right?
Cleveland doing their thing.
I mean, you got some teams right now that's making some headway in the East, but for the most part, it's Boston. Milwaukee's right behind them. They brought in some key components. Pat Bev.
Pat Bev is there now. Yeah. I feel that.
Danilo
Gallinari.
Yeah. They brought in dude, and then on top of that, they when it comes to Giannis, that city is going to do whatever they can to make Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak, the happiest cat on the planet.
So in other words, Thanos got job security.
He got job security, bro. He ain't going nowhere.
Got job security.
Hey,
he ain't going nowhere.
And they be up, bro, for 5, man.
For the record, Antetokounmpo got a couple of more brothers. One who played. I want to say he playing overseas now.
Yes.
And then he's got a brother who can play, but he's not so much into sports as he is into music. He's an artist in their native of Greece, and so they're doing their thing. But Thanos, hang in there, bro. Hang in there, bro. It's TIPI, the most interesting part about things and people and places. I ran into this story, and it made me feel some kind of way. Oh, for real. Let's go back a little bit. Kobe Bryant, at a very, very, very young age, wanted to get married to his wife. And was it back in 2001, something like that? 2011,
like 2000. Well, about 99, something like that.
He wanted to get married to his wife, who remained his wife, Vanessa Bryant. And his parents didn't think it was a good idea. They were looking out for his best interest. In other words, he's too young. Exactly. There's money involved. You don't need to do this. And so it really created a wedge between Kobe and his parents, because they didn't necessarily like Vanessa. They wasn't down with that. You know what I mean? Right. But Kobe was like, listen, I'm an adult. I'm in the league. I'm doing my thing. I'm getting married anyway. So his relationship with his parents has been splintered for many, many years because of that, because they couldn't come around and warm up to his wife. Fast forward, may he rest in peace. He's gone from us now, and his parents are looking to auction off his first championship ring. What do you feel about Kobe's parents auctioning off his first ever championship ring from 2001?
Hold up. First off, we're gonna go right here. Kobe Bean.
Oh, that's right. You did get that snapshot with Kobe.
Yes,
I like
sir.
that. That's it. That's it.
The real GOAT next to MJ, of course. But when it comes to that, man, I mean, realistically, I think primarily it's the fans who are more aggravated at the fact that Jelly Bean Bryant is trying to sell off the ring. Right. But the reality is that Kobe got that ring for his family, and it's a replica. So they've been trying to get rid of that joy for since 2013.
Yeah. I think that's the part that people are leaving out. So if we go back a little bit, it's not the same ring that the players got and the staff got, right? And in 2001 when they won a championship, it's a ring. It's the same ring, but Kobe ordered it special for his dad. Man, let me tell you about this thing. This thing is awesome. This thing it's got 40 diamonds. It's 14 karat gold. It's got the 40 diamonds. It's got the writing. It's an exact duplicate of the ring that Kobe had. They put it up for auction. So far, the auction is up to $140,000. Right? The auction is set to conclude March 30th, 31st. So we'll see what they end up getting for it. The other thing is, man, his parents broke.
Listen, Joe Jelly Bean ain't played since the 80s. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, I mean, you got to think about it too, bro. Like, they was trying to auction off all of his memorabilia. He had to put a pause on that cause. Exactly. He's like, bro. So, I mean, realistically, man, I mean, that estranged relationship between Kobe and his family, in particular his mom and his dad, it's disheartening. But at the same time, you can't try to control some of these young cats, man. And Kobe was one of those dudes.
Listen, they got to eat, because now you got to imagine the entire estate it rides with Vanessa.
Exactly.
She making the decisions now. She said, listen, y'all don't like me. I don't like y'all. Y'all. And I mean, like, can you imagine all that money, and his parents are not privy to anything?
Anything. Anything. And that's the sad part.
Oh, man. It just seems to me like after all these years, mom or dad or both of them need to show up on Vanessa doorstep with some, with some
Exactly.
flowers and
Man.
and some home baked cookies or something, and try to put, listen, man.
I apologize.
I'm sorry
for saying. I'm so sorry right
I'm
now.
so sorry.
Just
so sorry.
give me 5 of that. That
I
400 million.
mean, it's just pride. It's just pride, man. It's just let's get them on a payment plan or something. Get mom and dad on something. I bet you her parents ain't starving for nothing. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, and they old heads, man, 69 and 70 years old. That's
so come on, man.
Yeah,
come
that's
on,
deep.
come on, Vanessa, please.
Yeah.
Please take care. I mean, this, in a roundabout way, this Kobe's way of trying to take care of them from the great beyond. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Dad.
That's
Go ahead. You gotta do what you gotta do, Pop. Because she ain't checking for him at all.
No, at all.
TIPI, the most interesting part. Thanks a lot for hanging out with us, man. Real quick, we gotta shout out our sponsors. Woo-hoo!
Yes, sir.
Listen, man, I got some wings marinating right now, and we done with this column on the grizzle. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all, we got 4 inches of snow outside. It don't matter.
No.
It ain't never too hot, too cold, too dry, too wet for me to get on my grill. And it's always accompanied by Big Don's. We got the original and we got the spicy. Big Don's Collection EST.2020. Big Don's Collection EST.2020 on all social media to find this and place your order. We love us some Big Don, man. I'm finna put it on the wing tonight. It's a ball night. It's going down, We were also talking a little bit about Freaknik. Now, some people might or may not remember Freaknik, but Freaknik was started in Atlanta in the 80s. It was started as something for Black students to do who couldn't go home for spring break or couldn't go to Florida for spring break or whatever, because Atlanta is the mecca for HBCUs.
Right.
Historically Black colleges and universities. They got about 4 or 5 of them in that area. And so the kids who couldn't go home, they had to come up with something to do while they were there and everybody else went home, right? So they created these picnics and these get-togethers, and it just grew and grew and grew to the point where, okay, the kid they didn't want to go home for spring break no more. They wanted to stay. I remember something like that. I went to an HBCU in Ohio, and we called ours May Weekend. And so I remember that, but it was nothing like Freaknik, all right? Freaknik grew and grew and grew and set the city on fire through the 90s. It was the place to be during spring break for Black people until it wasn't. Did you ever get a chance to go to Freaknik?
No, dog. By the time Freaknik ended, I was in California. So but I did, when I spent the year out in Kentucky with Kiss, sophomore year of high school, I know that he went out there and had a good time. But at the same time, I want to sit down one of these days, man, and really, like, in a moment, in a moment's time, I really want to digest that whole process, because I'm kind of scared to watch it. I'm gonna be honest.
Why you don't want to watch it?
I'm scared to watch it because I know it's gonna be a whole lot of aunties and mamas on that joint, and it's like, I don't want to mess around and come across somebody I know that was out there.
Listen, and that's something that they talked about. They start teasing this thing, and that this documentary was coming. It's produced by Jermaine Dupri and Uncle Luke Skywalker from 2 Live Crew. And they start talking about it last year that this thing was coming. They talked about it early last year, and people start getting in their feelings. They start getting nervous because them same girls that was out there, don't stop, get it, pop that thing and do it with it. They lawyers, and judges, and moms and dads, you know what I mean? Now, and they were like, man, don't put me on blast. Don't put me on blast. And y'all got to think, this was before you had your camera phone. This is when the status quo was the big brick cell phone.
Exactly.
Right? That looked like a brick, and the big VHS camera that you put on your shoulder. So it was a lot. It was a lot of footage that was garnered during these days. And the documentary debuted last night
Mhm.
on Hulu.
Hulu.
So
Yeah.
it's on right now, and and people are tuning in, crossing their fingers that they'll see themselves.
I mean, I think there's two sides to it, right? There's the great side, and then there's the opposite side, which that's the side that everybody's focused on. But the reality is that there was a community when it came to Freaknik. It went beyond all the extracurriculums, right? There was all of these HBCUs throughout the country, all of these Black fraternities, these brothers and sisters coming together and building a community. And so when they were out there in Atlanta, you had the turn up, but at the same time, you had folks out there that was networking, they were building, and they was having a good time, partying, and that's what it is, man. So I'm looking forward to that together.
It was a big giant party, but also it brought a lot of money into the city of Atlanta.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, when I tell you, man, year after year, it grew to the point where parties weren't just happening in party venues. Parties weren't just happening in the school gym, on the campuses, in the strip clubs. Parties was happening on the street, dog.
Yeah, exactly.
On the street. It got so wild. And now you're at a point in the early 90s where it ain't just college students. Yeah. Now it's old heads coming to town to see what they can do. And so the energy started to change. Now you got a little, it's going from a great get together, a lot of young people, great energy, fashion, music. I mean, people like, artists from Atlanta, Goody Mob and Ludacris and all these artists. This is how they sold their music. They was out there freewheeling with all these people who were visiting. And this is how they kind of got on and got their popularity going. And so it was a great thing. I mean, it bought billions of dollars to the city of Atlanta during those spring break weeks when it was going on. But then you see the downturn, right?
Exactly.
You see the violence. And I think what happened was, and I don't want to give too much away, but I think what happened was that name Freaknik started to really go to people's heads. It resonated on a different level. And like I said, I don't want to give too much away because for those of you who haven't seen it, but they talk about where the name came from. Mm-hmm. And how it's just innocently, that's what they called it, but then it kind of evolved into another kind of energy, right? Exactly. So now we can get out here and really get freaky,
right?
I mean, in the streets, and so things had to be done, things had to be curved, and I don't want to spoil it for you, but I will tell you this: my one time that I ever got my bread together, got my gear together to go to Freaknik, man, it was a complete disaster, Sco. It was you say something totally different. But I tell you, it was a complete disaster. I was on the radio in Memphis.
Okay.
And I got my stuff together and I said, I'm going. I caught a flight. And it had a layover in, I want to say in New Orleans or something like that.
Okay.
And so I told them when I checked in, because I didn't fly a whole lot at this time in my life. I told them I'm going to New Orleans. Where's your bag going? My bag is going to New Orleans.
Right.
So I get off the plane in New Orleans, and I'm like, I'm going to my next flight, right? To take me from New Orleans to Atlanta.
Right.
Bag just gone.
Right.
Didn't even think about the bag.
Oh my God.
So I'm on my way. Now the flight to Atlanta got delayed, obviously. Duh. Because everybody trying to go to Atlanta.
Exactly.
It was overbooked or something like that. So they said, we can get you there tomorrow. In the meantime, we're gonna put you up and we're gonna give you a voucher so you can get something to eat. So I'm in this hotel room in New Orleans.
Hot as fish grease.
Like trying to get out of here. So I asked the cab driver, hey man, I would love to see could you take me to one of the clubs around here? I had some fun while I'm in. Might well take advantage. Man, this dude took me to a strip club. And all my little money that I had saved up for free.
Let's go. Right.
Go.
Hey. Dude,
Because I'm seeing the other dude over there throwing up money. So here I go. I want to throw up my $30, $40. Man,
dude.
my money was gone so fast. I'm back in the hotel. Finally made it to Atlanta. Can't find nobody I'm supposed to link up with.
Oh my!
Because like I said, this was before they had cell phones, right?
Exactly.
Can't find nobody. Can't get to the hotel. It was a disaster, man. You know, and I don't know if that was a good thing or bad thing.
It probably was blushing. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's my freaknik story.
Hey. Everybody got that one story, man. And that's your freaknik
Check
story.
out Freaknik, the greatest party that never was, or something like that. It's called. It's on Hulu now. Yes. It is in rotation right now. It's TIPI. The interesting part is, you know what I found interesting this week with all the NFL. The draft is coming up and the free agency is going on and everybody's moving and shaking. And we talked a little bit about Kirk Cousins. I feel bad about your boy, Justin Fields.
Hey, man. We're not gonna
I feel bad about your boy. I feel bad. Omarr is such a Bears fan. I gifted him a Justin Fields jersey last year. What you going to do with the jersey, man?
I'm keeping it, bro. I mean, man, he's still a bear than me.
Okay. I like that. Yeah, so, Justin Fields going to Pittsburgh. One of the really interesting positions these days is the running back position.
Yeah.
And dog, running backs just don't get the love that they used to get.
No.
They really don't. And they're vying for contracts and they're trying to get their money and they're trying to find a team where they can contribute. And it's just the toughest thing in the whole world. And I saw where New York Giant perennial running back Saquon Barkley went to
Philly.
Yeah, he went to Philly.
Yeah.
And then old head, Tiki Barber.
Yeah.
The old head running back for the Giants came out and was like, "You dead to us, son. How dare you go to Philly? You dead to us, son." And all this social media calling him out. And people like, what's going on with Tiki? What Tiki got in his feelings, dog?
Man, Tiki's still hot about Michael Strahan taking his role as the face of Good Morning America, man. Tiki, that's what Tiki wanted to do. He was getting himself up for after retirement. Y'all go out there and be an analyst. And then Michael Strahan said, hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
You can't do this, bro.
It just took his gig. That's what's up. Tiki Barber.
He was a good solid running back, man. But Saquon is a monster, man.
So with that said, man, I wanted to get into our top 5, right? This is what we do. Sir. Top 5 and why. Osko, break it down for me. Top 5 running backs, past or present.
Dude,
number 5.
Number 5. Well, first I gotta say, man, this was the hardest. This was by far the hardest that I've ever had to think on running, because there's so many incredible running backs. But I had to come up with 5. I went with number 5. Number 5, Emmitt Smith, because Emmitt was hands down, to me personally, one of the greatest runners to play the game, longevity wise.
Got his rings. Got his rings
in Dallas.
And I had a chance to meet Emmitt Smith in Minneapolis when I worked, and this was around the time when he had won Dancing with the Stars. Remember that?
Yes, sir. Yes.
And we were at a club, and he was there with his wife, and he was in the middle of the flow, and it's like people were scared but he was out there just swerving. I was like, there go Emmitt right there. There you go. All right, top 5 and why. We're talking NFL running backs, past or present. Number 4.
Number 4, your boy. The destroyer. He just did my Bears wrong every time he played them. Up there in the Twin Cities. Mr. Peterson, AP.
All day.
Monster.
Peterson. Dude. Oh, that's my boy right there.
Hated seeing that boy play.
Again in Minneapolis, Adrian Peterson and I worked together. We had this thing with what's the water that 50 Cent brought?
What was that? Vitamin water.
Yeah. Vitamin water. He was an ambassador, and every year we had this contest where the high school who did the most text messages or whatever got Adrian to come to their football game.
Okay.
They season opener. So it was me and him, and we would do this all the time. And let me tell you something, man. I thought we was friends. But if you have ever shaken Adrian Peterson's hand. He will crush. He has the most bone crusher start a fight handshake you have ever felt in your life. And he look right at you and just do it. I'll be like, man, look, I feel like I'm finna cry, start crying right now. That's how bad it was. Bad, man. I was like, dude, what's your problem? Why would you did it to girls, guys? He didn't care.
That dude ran through 400-pound linemen, bro. Like, with no problems.
Boy,
so I
that
can
brings
imagine
back
what those
some
hands
memories.
were like, man.
All right, top 5 and why. Who you got at number 3?
Cleveland's finest, Mr. Brown, Jim Brown.
Jim Brown.
All day.
This is a good list right now, man.
Yeah.
This is a good list right now. Jim Brown, who I love so much, went on to do acting, and like growing up for his movies was like the movies, 3 the Hard Way, and you know, all those movies, man. Look, Jim Brown.
I'm gonna get you, sucker. Yeah.
Jim Brown was that dude. All right, top 5 and why. Top 5 NFL running backs, past or present, at number 2.
Detroit's finest.
Mr.
Barry Sanders.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't go wrong, man.
Did you happen to see the Bye Bye Barry documentary?
I have not. No, I'm on it though.
You gotta watch that one too. It gives you the gist of his career, but then it comes to why he left. Because he left, like he left one day, one season he was here, the next season he was just gone, and didn't nobody understand why he retired at such a young age. So it answers all of those questions. Check it out if you get a chance. All right, here we go. Top 5 and why. NFL running backs, past or present. Osco, who you got at number 1?
You already know what it is, man. You call it bias if you want to, but that dude did it with no offensive line during an era where they would body slam you, break your neck, drop kick you, and run up in the stands and beat up your whole family. Mr. Walter Payton.
Walter Payton, yes.
Sweetness all day. Number 34 all day. Come on, man.
Sweetness, baby. You gotta love Walter Payton, man. I recently saw something. They were doing a tribute to him with his children were out there, and they actually named a humanitarian award after him. It's the Walter Payton Community Award, and it's presented to players every year who give back to their community. And we all know that toward the end of his career, Walter Payton had some financial struggles, but it never stopped him from giving back.
Never.
And I just think he's just another amazing talent. And just an amazing man. And growing up in Chicago, man, we all had love for sweetness, baby. We all had love for sweet TIPI. The interesting part is that's a good list, boy. That's a good list.
Hey.
Feel free to put your list in the comments as we shout out our other sponsor, the Kiss Allen Experience Vodka.
Go out there and get some of that vodka.
Yeah. I'm sorry. My computer is telling me something here. I'm getting somebody. Okay. And you got to go out there and get it. OG Distilleries. At OG Distilleries on social media. You can find out how to order it. They'll deliver it right to your house, man. I'm saving mine. Kiss said he was going to give me a little bit more, but I probably ain't going to drink none until, October, something like that.
Dude, that bottle going to last you 3 years.
That's all we got. That's all we got right now. But it's all love. TIPI, thanks again for joining us for conversation and some really interesting things. And I do it again. I love your top 5. Please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get our subscriptions up. Gang, get yourself one of these hoodies.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to do a raffle. We'll take our next 20, 30 subscribers and pick some names and send you out some stuff. Get you one of these t-shirts. I wish I had a bottle of that vodka to send you, but I don't know if that's even legal. I don't know if I can send that, and you ain't getting mine. You ain't getting mine. Sko, thanks a lot for joining us.
Yes, sir.
Man. As always, in party, we'll remind you, fly low. Avoid the radar. And no matter what happens, when they come for the car,
save the radio.
P.I.
All right.
How do I stop this thing?
Our history is like two iconic breaking ground, making history in separate ways.
Let's proceed with what I feel is the most interesting part of the program.
All the interesting things going on in the news.
It makes it so much more interesting for the listener.
There are some interesting details relating to all this. Now listen.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. If you can't be at least mildly interesting, then shut the hell up.
Let's see if they've got any interesting guests coming up.
I don't want to be rude here, but my stories are interesting.